To the next video. In this video and in the following one, we'll go through the conference feature in Canvas that you can use for doing live conferences with students, like live streaming your course or having, for example, Daimatima, having sessions with the TAs. That's all what you can do down there. And the first important thing we'll start off with is if you go into your course, you should make sure that the conference feature is actually visible to students. If you have this crossed out I next to it, it means it's not visible. So if that is the case, then you need to go to your course settings, to navigation, and make sure that the conference feature is dragged into this first list. If it's down here, it means, as it says, page is disabled, so you need to take it and move it up here in the list. So that's what you need to do and then save. So then it's visible, and now you can go in here and you can create new conferences. And the exciting thing about this is that students, TAs can do that as well. So if you have any people in your course that have the TA role, they can create their own conferences. So they can, for instance, set up their Daimatima if they want to do that remotely. So let's just do that. Let's start a new conference. You can give it a name. For example, demo conference. There's only one type. That's the technology that this thing is using. So it's just the underlying technology. You don't need to worry about that. You can set a duration. You can also say that there is no time limit. Then it just keeps running until you end it. And you can enable recording. The important thing is recording is only stored for 14 days. So what I try to do is I don't enable this, but I rather use Echo 360 in parallel to conferences. So as I showed in the previous video, I just use Echo 360 capture and record what I'm doing at the same time. So I don't do it through here. Now the next interesting thing is you can either the default is you invite all course members, or you can tick this off and then you can select who you want to invite. And I'll just hide this a bit so you don't see all the different names. But basically now you see that there is the list of all my students, and I can select who I want to invite. Now for this case, I'll just not invite anybody. I'll just do updates. So it's basically just for me, the conference. Later on we'll show with some actual participants. And then it shows up here. If you have selected any students, any people in your course, they will get an email say you have been invited to a conference, and they can click the link and they end up here as well. You can go back and edit this. We'll not do that. We'll go to start now. So I press start and the thing starts setting up. It asks whether you want to join with your microphone or only listen. So of course, as the instructor, I want to use my microphone, and then in your browser, you'll get a message which microphone to choose. So if you have multiple, you can select which one. You say allow, and then it starts connecting. This takes a while. And then you get this window here that asks you, that basically tests your microphone. So you can talk, and if you have the speakers on or if you have headphones in, you will hopefully hear yourself, and then you can say, yes, I hear myself. And then you have actually joined the conference. So now the conference is running. If we go back to Canvas, you'll see that you have this join button. So now the students can actually join your conference. We'll just in this short video go through the features, what you can do here, and then in the next video we'll show you how to interact when there are actual users in the conference. For now it's just me, so it's a bit boring. But you see this is the user list, and you see this little blue icon up here that says that I am the presenter, I am the one presenting. If you have other teachers or if you have TAs, they can also be in the presenter role. And you can also give the presenter role to a student if, for example, the student is supposed to show something. The other thing you have up here is shared notes. So everyone in the call can write here. And then you can later on click on this button and export them. So you can, for example, choose to export whatever you have noted down as a text file. So that's a good feature. And students can, for instance, write here questions, notes, whatever else. There's also a public chat, so people can chat here, and you can close this. There is also a private chat, so we'll show that later, but once you have users, you can privately write messages to them, and for instance, the students can write messages to you. Both the shared notes, the public chat, and private messages are a really good tool if there are questions, because if everyone switches their microphone on, it gets really messy and really loud. So you should encourage students to mute their microphone. You can also actively do that. So you can click on a user and say mute. Up here, you see who is talking. So now it's only me talking, but of course, if there is some noise in the call, for instance, it's quite easy to figure out where it comes from. That's a good feature. That's what you can do. Now, this here is a presentation. It just happens to be the default presentation. So this is always the same when you start this conference, but you can add your own. So you can go to this plus button and say, upload a presentation. And then you can upload a file, a Office or PDF file. So I can, for instance, go to my teaching. I can select any kind of slides I have. For example, let's have a lecture on HTML. And then I press upload. And it starts uploading. This takes a while, so it might be a good idea to do this before you actually have your class scheduled. You start a bit early because it has to somehow prepare the material a bit. So this takes a couple of moments depending on the size of your slides, but it's not overly long. Okay, we're almost done. And now it just takes a couple of seconds more, and then we go back automatically to the previous window. So you don't need to click anything up here. Okay, we're back, and here are actually my slides. Sorry, marketing, I still use the old template. And you can just navigate in those slides. So this is what the students will see. They see your pointer, so they see where you are pointing. You can also here select a different tool. So for example, the pencil, and then you can underline things, or if you have a drawing board, you can actually write. If you do this by hand, it's maybe not that much fun. So there are multiple things here. There's also another feature I'll show you later. You can actually allow multi-user whiteboard, and then all the people in the call can draw. For example, if they have a question that is easier to explain by drawing, you can allow them to do that. So those are the slides. The other thing, for example, I teach a lot of programming related things. I have to show what I'm doing, not on slides, but in a tool. So what you can do is share your screen. So I can click on this, and then it asks me what I want to share. You can either share a specific window you have open, or you can share your entire screen. So if I click on this, my entire screen will be shared. If you have multiple screens, like an external screen, it will show screen 1, screen 2, and then when you click on it, you actually get a preview, so you can figure out which screen is which. What I often try to do is I try to have an external screen, and then this window here where I have the conference system open, I have in one screen, and whatever I show to the students via screen sharing, I have in the other screen. So that's one of the options to do it. If I do that, then the presentation will disappear and the screen will be shared. That looks a bit weird now because I'm sharing the same screen that is also displaying it, so I get this picture in a picture. But essentially now I could open up, for example, my programming tool and show them, if I click on the right thing, show them how to do the programming. So you can just open other things and the conference keeps running. This is getting a bit slow now on my system because I'm recording the video at the same time as I'm showing you the conference system, so it's a bit slow. It's usually not like that. If I do stop sharing, we'll get back to the regular view. So here are my slides again. You can also, if you need that, you can share your webcam. So that's another option. Okay. Whenever you're done, you can go here and you can say end meeting, then the meeting is actually, the conference is still running. You just close this window basically. So if I do this now, yes, I want to end this session. You see that is actually in my canvas, it's still running. So if I click join, I'll just get back to it and the same process starts as before. So it asks me about my microphone, it sets up the microphone. And I'm back where I was before. There's one important thing. We have the shared notes, we have discussed these. One of the issues is when you end your conference, they are gone. So when I go here, if I press end, then I cannot, at least I don't know how to, I cannot access these notes before. So if there's anything important in here, make sure you copy this. You either use this export function or you just select and copy it somewhere else in case you need them. Also, I have not yet figured out how to save annotations, so I'm not sure that's possible here. It might easily be. I just haven't figured that out yet. So those are the basic features, and now in the next video we'll show you the same with other people so that we see how to interact with students. But that's it. We'll just end this conference for now, and it ends up down here in our concluded conferences. All we can do now is delete it. We'll do that, and it's gone. Thanks for watching.